All right, kids have been really good the last couple of days. Very motivated for this game this weekend. Obviously a challenge with UTSA, one of the top teams in our league. And, conference openers, big game for us. So they're excited about having the opportunity to play this game. Before we get into questions and stuff, I just want to everybody saw the announcement yesterday that the Clark family has stepped up and with the largest gift in the history of the Pirate Club. And I just want to thank Bill and Lance and Heath and the rest of the family for their commitment to ECU athletics. They've been instrumental and supportive, ever since I've been here, and I'm sure they were long before that too. But their family has obviously done a lot to positively impact our student athletes. Questions?
Going off that, what does it mean to finally have the funding? I know the building won't be constructed tomorrow, but just have the funding for it.
We could have sure used it so far this year. And it's going to be a game changer for our entire athletic department. You're talking about no more issues with finding space if there's inclement weather. And, we practice in the rain. But lightning, just like that game the other night, there's nothing you can do. And, the schedules are so tight with classes and everything that it puts a pinch on everybody. I mean, it's not any outdoor sport needs that facility. And then you talk about the impact that it will have, preseason camp, our walk through tomorrow morning. We would do it indoors. Recovery. We'll be able to do a lot of stuff in the winter in it. Other teams will be able to use it. It's obviously going to be a huge recruiting piece. I'm sure it's going to be used on game day for the Pirate Club events. It's going to be used for different functions, fundraising-wise, and different functions of the community. So this is a great facility that'll be, a huge asset for our football program, but it's going to be a huge asset for this entire community and athletic department.
Coach, obviously you want Rajay to finish the play, but the rule is if the elbow or knee is down, play's over.
Right.
Did you agree with that call? If not, do you send it in? I know it doesn't do anything after the fact.
Well, first it's Conference USA officials, so I don't really have anything that I can send to them. Our footage did not show the shots that we were seeing on the jumbotron the other night. But at the end of the day, and we talked about it, it's we are the ones that hand the ball to the official. Don't let anybody else hand the ball to the official. That's the way you avoid that. Nobody feels worse than Rajay does, and I promise you he's been on it this week because it means a lot to him that he be a guy that helps us win. And he never does anything to hurt us. And so he owns that, but it's on us too. Coaching staff wise, we start every Tuesday practice with ball security. But I think that we got to continue to just hound them during practice, and the kids have got to be really on it during practice. And even you get tired, you got to be making sure that if you're in traffic, you're locking it up. And so it's a group effort that we got to make sure we eliminate those situations right there that hurt us.
Jake obviously throws the ball pretty hard. Do y'all talk to him all about taking, some touch on the shorter passes, or is it more just if it hits the receiver's hands, they expect to catch?
Well, I think it depends on the situation. Some of the tight windows he puts it in there that, you can't take anything off of it. I've seen that before where a quarterback does not have the arm strength and he can't fit it in those windows and he tries to, and it's a pick. Certainly there are some passes that are touch passes and some passes that you gotta put it on there. And so it's just, continuing for him to, get on the same page with the receivers and feel better with the receivers. But, those the other night, like that fourth down deal, it's a tight window right there. He has to put it on the receiver. If he doesn't, they're going to break it up or they're going to pick it. So, the one on the pick, that was a touch pass, right over the shoulder, right where it should be. So it just depends on the pass.
UTSA hasn't really played a close game. It's a little tougher to study film when they've had blowout wins and blowout losses, and they look so different probably from weeks 1 and 4 than they did weeks 2 and 3.
Yeah, the thing is you play in the University of Texas, the number one team in the country, and arguably them or Georgia is the most talented team in the country, and it's tough against that. But here's the thing I know UTSA from last year. They have a lot of the same guys. I know Coach Traylor. I know what to expect Saturday. They have dynamic playmakers on offense. Their quarterback is a great operator. Their defensive front is one of the better ones in this league. Their linebacking core is experienced and athletic. Their DBs are long and can run. And I know that they just like us. I mean, they pride themselves in physicality and toughness and playing with a chip on their shoulder. So we know what to expect coming in here. Yeah, they've played kind of all over the place with where their games have been, but the thing we know is who they are.
How has the energy level been just getting those guys back after the late night?
It's been good. Sunday there wasn't a whole lot of energy because everybody was still trying to recover from getting back in at 7 a.m. But we did very, very little on Sunday. Really focused Sunday and Monday just getting rest, getting recovered. I thought we've been really energetic the last 2 days. I thought that Tuesday was a very, very good Tuesday practice. I mean, it was from the standpoint of just we had mistakes, things we can clean up, but there was no lack of energy, lack of effort, lack of trying to do things that are in the game plan that are new to them. So had another good practice today. So tomorrow and Friday are cleanup days. Last week was the best Thursday and Friday we've had so far this year, and I think that results in being ready to play on Saturday. We've got to be better this week on Thursday and Friday, and then our big focus today in practice, there was things all throughout practice where we're talking about finishing. That's the thing, is we got to make sure that we have that energy in the fourth quarter. And we talked about the no quarter flag and what it means to us, but our plays got to back that up, and they want to. And the thing is, I don't want them to press. I want them to play fast and free and fearless and be very, very physical and just have fun because when they're playing that way, it's a different kind of team.
Kind of speaking to that, given the nature of how the last 2 games have ended, how do you balance changing things up, conditioning-wise with staying the course?
Well, it's not a matter of conditioning. It's a matter of execution. I mean, let's be real clear on that. We go out there, and I promise you, we can condition run with anybody in the country. We got to play better. We've got to make fewer mistakes. It's keeping momentum. It's keeping that positive energy. It's having confidence. It's making the play. Those are the things that we've had to focus on. So when you have those situations, you have to look at exactly what is happening. And what's happening is a variety of things that we've tried to address this week.
Is Andrew Conrad still the guy moving forward at kicker for you right now?
Yeah. Yep, he's our kicker. Anything else?
As you kind of just look at the conference as a whole, has anything stood out to you through the non-conference plays that you're ready to jump into it?
Yeah, all those preseason media polls, y'all can take those and throw them in the trash. So it's wide open. I think, who is it? The academies are at the top right now? Yeah. Nobody had that in preseason, did they? All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Have a good day.
Go ahead.
Coach, I know you guys have been so good on third down really since you got here. So I'm sure that, outing the other night kind of sticks with you. So what were your results watching and taking?
Yeah, third down is something we took a lot of pride in. Our players and program took a lot of pride in, and started off the game, I think 3 and out a couple times, and started out really good on third down, so you felt really good about it. And then there was a streak there. They got hot, and we couldn't get off the field. Missed a few tackles, couldn't knock a ball down, and those type of things. And that was really the difference in the game to me, to be honest. I mean, those third downs or drives are so huge. Think about the one at the beginning of the fourth quarter. We got a chance to make an opportunity to make a sack back there, miss a sack. He scrambles, gets the first down, keeps the drive alive. And all those drives led to touchdowns. I think 4 of their touchdowns came on third down. So we got to be better there. We got to be more locked in. That was a huge focus today, was our third down period, and just put it at the end of practice. So, hey, it's at the end of the game. It takes priority of our attention, our focus, playing it when we're tired, all those type of things. So we got to be much better there. And that starts with me. That starts with making sure we got the right plan, make sure we got the right mindset, the right focus of executing and getting the job done. So, and some of us hats off to them. Their quarterback made some plays. He's certainly a good player, but at the end of the day, we got to pull the thumb. And what can we do better against UTSA this week to get back a dominating third down like we have in the past?
With the run game, I know they went for 191 on the ground. What were some of the things on film that you saw that stood out?
Yeah, I thought we played the run really well at times. And they put you in some binds where you got the quarterback run game, you got the pin and pull, you also got the receivers out wide. You got to help pay attention to. We were in cover 3 a couple of times, and they popped a couple of runs in there. I think the first run that led to the first score about 25 yards there. And they just ran a gap scheme to the field, and we were in cover 3. We didn't quite get over the top with the Mike backer and leverage it back to the backside, a hook player. You know, we had a few like that, just kind of got out on us. We had another one out of trap pressure, bringing field pressure. They run to the boundary. We don't fit off the tight end there, and it kind of gets out on us for about another 25. So it wasn't, you know, it was just a few here, a few there that we got to do a better job on, and that's their main focus, their main staple is that being an option team, they want to run the football. So, you know, again, we talk about third down, taking a lot of pride in. Our run defense is something else we're taking a lot of pride in, and we didn't get the job done there the other night. We got to be better there. And just do a better job of fitting those things up. At the same time, being able to give some help in certain places, but being able to play the run as well.
You know, losing Sabone last week, I know you don't want to make excuses.
Yeah.
Had to play at least a role with him, you know, just thoughts on that injury.
Yeah, it's always next man up mentality. I got total faith in every one of our guys in our defense and in our room. You know, in the secondary, up front, wherever it may be. And you know, Von's a great player and really good kid, and just hate it for him and feel for him. And you know, I've lost a lot of sleep over the last week, not for me, not for our but for him as an individual and a young man and his family and just his future. And I know he'll bounce back. He'll be stronger than ever. It's just a comeback for him. But at the same time, it does cross your mind like, hey, Siobhan's a once-in-a-lifetime player out there, you know, and now you do some things differently. Some things you build around him. Now you got to change some things up. You know, find out last Thursday for sure that was the case. We're gonna lose him, and I had to make some adjustments there. You know, and at the same time, it's a little easier going forward because you know exactly what you're playing with when you're game planning for that week. So, you know, just our thoughts and prayers continually with him and his family and just his future. I know he'll bounce back, but I got total faith in our corners and what they're going to do. But not only our corners, but the rest of our defense, how they're going to step up and fill that void there, and you know, so we won't miss a beat, hopefully.
To what extent, when you do have that extra time in this full week of game planning without him, does that help when it comes to the challenge of replacing and playing around him?
Well, for one, you know, that's a young man that was getting, you know, we do about 100 reps of practice, and he gets 50 on with the ones. Well, now those reps go to somebody else, so it gives another young man an opportunity to get more reps. You know, improve his game, feel more comfortable with the game plan, feel more comfortable with the offense is trying to attack us with, and those type of things. So right now that's been Lamp and Nash, and they're doing a really good job this week responding. Got some young corners coming along as well. So, but just, you know, the more reps they're going to get each and every day, whether it's practice or in a game on Saturday, they're going to get better and better.
You're going to face him.
I was going to say, but both those young men are talented. I mean, you know, one started at North Carolina, one started at West Virginia. So both of them are young, you know, very talented, and I know they're going to make plays.
Sorry. No, about it. So you're going to face a really up-tempo team this week. You did that a few weeks back against Old Dominion, held them to 14 points. How much do you look back at your own guys on film from a few weeks back against Old Dominion and relate it to this week against you?
Yeah, UTSA certainly hurt us with some tempo last year. And, you know, I think we look back at that game and our game last year, a year ago, and that was the things that hurt us was the tempo plays. You know, we were very conscientious of that going into ODU, making sure we got lined up, got our feet in the ground, feet set, cleats in the ground, ready to play. And that's what we got to do this Saturday, you know, being prepared for it and always prepared for it. They may not go tempo every snap like an ODU or like our guys. They'll slow it down, speed it up, slow it down, which in some ways is tougher because you don't know exactly when it's coming. But we always got to be prepared for it. So if we're always prepared for it, it never catches us off guard. You know, as a play caller, I got to get the call in quick. So we got our cleats set and feet set, and we're ready to play.
Are they pretty much the same, even though Harris isn't there anymore?
Yeah, you know, surprisingly, I thought Frank Harris was, you know, obviously a veteran quarterback, but an eighth-year player there, and a really good one. McCown is, you know, obviously knows a lot of football through his dad and all that stuff. But last year they were like 75% runs, just first and second down between RPOs and those things. And this year that's more like 50-50. You know, I don't know if that's the quarterback situation or exactly what. But for the most part, it's the same offense. You know, you see little tweaks here and there. And, you know, both are left-handed, so same left-handed game plan for that quarterback. And the backup's pretty good, too. Number 9 does a really good job when he comes in. He's got a strong arm, so it doesn't change a whole lot of what they do.
Does lefty versus righty, I mean, I know we'll make a bigger deal of it, but is that a big thing as a coordinator trying to plan for, or is it just kind of overplay?
I don't think it's the biggest thing. Is like in baseball, left-handed pitcher, right-handed pitcher, that's probably a big deal. In football, there's some things that does change about the hash, maybe what hash they like. A few years ago when we had Holton, you could tell, like, hey, he liked certain things off of this hash, or he liked doing this or doing that, or throwing the ball to his left versus his right, and maybe a right-hand quarterback's flip-flop, especially as a young guy. When guys get older, Frank Harrison in his 17th year. Holton was a 10-year player or whatever he was. But as those guys get older, they feel more comfortable doing both things right and left. Sometimes a younger quarterback, hey, he's only comfortable to his throwing hand, or only comfortable to, certain plays away from his throwing hand. So we do look at that. We do study those tendencies and see if we can, help us give an advantage to us.
We talked to Sue Rad yesterday. He seemed to indicate, obviously the defensive standard's pretty high as a senior. Have you seen kind of those upperclassmen respond pretty well this week?
Yeah, and I think we've talked about that a little bit before. Just kind of the defense is more player-led because you have some older guys. And Sue Rad and all those guys will talk about the standard and talk about trying to be the best defense, in the conference, in the nation, those type of things. And they get as down as I do, and probably more down than quicker than I do, and they probably get over it faster than I do too. But of making sure we hit that standard and we don't, it really bothers them. And you see those guys be vocal about it, and it's the older guys, and they're encouraging everybody, and in a positive way. And that's what's encouraging about it. They're helping hold that standard of just the little things. Hey, we're going to take the field. Let's make sure we're behind the line. Hey, we're going to communicate. Make sure we all communicating. Hey. Third down, alert hard counts. Make sure we're all alerting hard counts. And just saw that in practice today, and just really proud of those guys. We got to continue to do that, and continue to do it with urgency, intent, and may take that into game day on Saturday. Just last thing I close with, and I know my mom watches this, so just kind of when you guys, really apologize first of all to Pirate Nation about Saturday night. Obviously, we all program. We got to do better there, but just kind of keep my family in thoughts and your prayers back home. They're going through some things. Just appreciate it if you do that for me. Thank you.
Coach, y'all, only have kind of limited second half drives, moving the ball. Is it just like the message kind of finished now? What was kind of the mindset coming out of the last game?
No, it was, it's more kind of like, probably what Blake said. It's a little bit of a mindset. I think for our team, our players, a lot of them they're not only learning how to win, they got to learn how to be able to put their foot on the gas when you got somebody down like that. Obviously the big possession where we missed a field goal, it shouldn't even come down to that. We should have put the ball in the end zone, had multiple chances, started the drive with a penalty, had a couple of busts, and then ended up having to kick a field goal and missed it. And so having opportunities in a game like that early, like I said, I think that our players, they're not only learning how to win, but they got to learn how to do that. They got to learn how to have a killer mindset, when you get a chance like that. And so it's hard. It's not easy. Winning's not easy, and it's definitely not easy, for a lot of these guys that, they're not used to being in that situation yet. And they got to learn how to do it, and they got to learn how to do it quickly.
Is that something that can be kind of coached into them and instilled, or is that more of an on-the-fly, like kind of need to learn in the game in the moment?
It's one of those deals, in my experience, once you kind of get a taste of it, it's almost like an addiction. Like once you learn how to put somebody away, once you learn how to win, it becomes one of those deals. It happened. I can remember it multiple times. Our first year at North Texas, very similar team coming off a year before in 2015. I think they went 1-11, and it was kind of back and forth. We had a team that they wanted to believe that they could be good. They wanted to believe that they could win games, and it was about the fourth, fifth game of the season where we finally kind of broke through that wall and won a game. And once we did that, it was like it just kind of rolled from there. And so we're still waiting on that moment. Talk to our guys about it all the time. Our guys want to win. There is no doubt about it. They try, they play as hard as anybody I've ever been around, but they got to learn how to finish, and they got to learn how to win games like that. And once they do, like I said, it becomes one of those things, like you get addicted to it, and you believe you're going to win every game that you're in.
Were you pretty proud of how the offense responded after they came back? Y'all did drive down, score, to retake the lead?
Yeah. No, 100%. And that's, it's hard to find positives after a game like that, but those were some big positives for us as a unit. just looking back at the App State game, I don't know that we had the same belief that we had in the second half versus Liberty. And what I mean by that is, that was something we talked about all week of, like I was talking about a second ago, like our guys want to win, but they got to believe it too. And I think our guys, they're starting to really, really feel that. I don't know that I could have said that the second half of App, but last week, they go down and score, and I think make it 24-21, and then we go down and score. They go down and score again, and we're right there driving the ball. We're deep in their territory with about 6 minutes left, and then, have an unfortunate turnover, which can't happen, and we got to get it fixed. But there was no doubt or lack of belief in our guys that we were about to go score again right there and take the lead again, and then hopefully defense finish it out. So that was, in my mind, that was a step from the week before, and like I said, this is a process, and I hate it. I wish we could learn after wins, but we're having to learn after a couple losses now. But it's stuff we got to get fixed, and we got to learn how to finish and not have those turnovers and be able to go punch it in and score again.
Your offensive line has seemed to improve each week. They have a very tough test this week against UTSA. Just what are your thoughts on how they've progressed since week one?
They really have. They're playing really well. They're doing a great job in the run game, being on the right spots. They're doing a great job in pass pro. We had a couple just breakdowns that happens at times and some empty stuff. But I think they're playing really well. They're keeping Jake upright. And so I've been really pleased, and you're exactly right. They're a unit that they've gotten better and better and better each week. And they got a test this week. UTSA is probably up front in the middle, the biggest guys that we've played, a couple 300-pounders that we got to find ways to move. So they got a big test, and, they practice the right way. Obviously, Coach Maddox makes them practice that way and gets them going in the right direction. But they got a big test this week, no doubt.
As you look at Jake week to week, is there anything in particular you want to see him improve upon to take the next step?
No, he's kind of been the same way. I feel like he's improved every single week. He's making better decisions. I think you're starting to see him kind of play a little more freely. I think that's where some of the scrambles are coming from. He's been able to get through his reads, and if it's not there, tuck it and go run. Score the touchdown on the first drive or the second drive of the game last week. But just continue to do what he's doing. I think he's doing a much better job of just, taking what's there and making the play that the defense gives him. He's still being aggressive, taking shots when they're there. I want him just to stay on that track and continue to progress as he has.
What's the balance of, hey, you got to do whatever you can to score that touchdown, and also, hey, don't go head first? What do you say?
Yeah, that's a hard one. That's a hard one to coach, just because, like, anybody that's a competitor and in that situation, you want to go score, and you're willing to put your body on the line. That's why we play this game. But yeah, I would like him to probably roll a little bit more and not go exactly top of the temple right into the end zone. But no, that's who he is. He's a competitor, and he wants to go get it, do whatever it takes to get in the end zone.
Going off that, how's Caden holding up? And obviously, tough quarterback competition, hasn't gotten a real chance yet.
The ultimate professional. I've been so impressed with Caden. It's one of those deals where it's, I'm not having to go to him every week and be like, hey man, you gotta be ready to play. You gotta stay ready to play. He's doing that on his own. He prepares like the starter every week. He asks questions in the meetings on the field. He's as locked in as any backup quarterback I've been around, and it's hard. It's a hard situation, but Jake's gotten better and better every week, and so is Caden. He's continuing to get better, but he's been awesome. He's been awesome with Jake on the sideline. I can hear when I'm on the phone with Jake, I can hear Caden sitting there talking about what he's seen on the iPads. So he's been not only just continue to be a great leader, he's been a great teammate, not only to Jake but to the other guys on the team.
Anthony and Jake have been close to making on those deep balls. I don't know if y'all been working on the time there. What's kind of like the takeoff there?
It's just you never know. It's one thing where he's got to slide over and balls comes up a little short or whatever it may be. But we got to connect on some of those, and that's something that's a point of emphasis for us this week. We're not creating enough explosives, and we got to continue to take shots down the field, but it's time we start connecting on some. And there's some technical things that we can do better at receiver as far as slowing down and going up and getting the ball when it's a little underthrown. But that's a big deal for us as quarterbacks. We want to give those guys a chance always. We don't ever want to overthrow guys. We don't ever want to throw them out of bounds because then that's a wasted down for us. We feel like if we can put the ball in play, something good's going to happen. We're either going to catch or get a PI. And that happened a couple times the other night. Chase came back and caught a deep one, took another shot to Yannick. He did a great job kind of slowing down and going up and playing the ball and got a PI. And we got to get more of those because in our minds, when we get a PI like that, that's 15 yards. And for us, that's another explosive play.
Do you feel like Yannick, even though he's a freshman, he seems like he's ready for more snaps? I know it's hard to get
Yeah. No, he's got to play more, and he will play more. He does a great job. You would not know that kid's a freshman. He stepped into that App State game there at the end and catches a big ball, and I don't think anybody even knew he was in the game. But he did a great job and made a play. But he's shown and proven, with practice reps and game reps that he deserves to play more. And so that's something that we got to, continue to get him into the game more. That means you take somebody else off, but that's okay. Guys need to play a little less so they stay fresh and that they're clean throughout the game as well.